At 8 miles an hour, you could nearly do times 2 minus 2. All right, so it'd be about 0.8 mils. That would be for 8, all right? You ready? Go ahead and make your wind call, feel the wind. It's very important, like we talked about earlier, always change your wind call based off what you're feeling immediately. Don't get locked into a wind call. So when you're sitting here, wind's all of a sudden blowing in the side of your face on the left side, and all of a sudden it hits dead on you, you need to take off a little bit of that wind. All right, so I'm gonna let you.
0.6 right now, is that good?
All right, go ahead and try it. Beautiful, excellent. All right, Mike. Let me hold you up, Mike. Let me throw something out real quick. What you see a lot is something that Chris did, but he waited, he did it right, all right? The problem is rapid boat manipulation, all right? A lot of times they're taught, especially in the Marine Corps, to run rapid boat very fast. What we have to be aware of is information is the most important thing that we're getting out of this shot right now. You need to know where your bullet hit. So as soon as you saw it hit, you ran the boat, got your gun back up in the fight quick. Just same with the second shot correction. If that was a deer or a coyote out there, you'd shoot, watch the bullet impact, run your boat fast, you're back up, make your good second shot correction, send it as fast as you can, making a good shot to where you're actually shooting in the same environment of wind. All right, but if you shoot, run your boat, and you don't know where you hit because you moved your optics while you were running your boat, you know where you broke the shot off. So you don't have to tell me, hey Todd, man, I was about 0.2 left when I broke the shot, and I look at it and I go, okay, well you were 0.3 left, so, all right, really that's 0.1 correction. All right, all that takes time. What'd the wind just do while I'm explaining it? Wind cut down to nearly half value what it was. So now I have to give you a complete another wind call. If you shoot, watch where your bullet hits, run your boat fast, make your correction, send it. You're shooting in the same environment, and it's actually a more knowledgeable shot because your body position allows you to see that shot. All right, so you can make a very knowledgeable shot off of what you saw, where the shot broke, where the shot impacted, and you can make a more knowledgeable and faster and probably more accurate second shot correction that way. All right, sorry, Mike, go ahead. Now that you have your wind call and we messed with you for the last 2 minutes. Nice, very nice. So what was your wind call?
0.7.
0.7, excellent. All right, Travis.
3.5, 0.7.
Fire when ready. Now the wind's picking up. Very good, bottom right edge. Still got a hit though. You caught it though and you came up. If you would have stayed with the 0.7, you'd have been off the right edge. Good call. All right, Steve. All right, run your boat, make your second shot correction. Nice, good job. All right, make sure you load your bipods every shot. It's very important to do everything the same way, all right? If you don't load your bipods, your gun's gonna recoil a little bit differently. You may impact a little bit high. Again, we're not on nice level ground. We're not on a golf course, all right? So you're gonna be in weird positions. You gotta make sure that scope's level every shot. If you look 40 degrees to your right, you're gonna actually see a pond, all right? So I want you to get up and shift your body around, and there's gonna be a target there and a target but further out. So everybody go ahead and shift position. All right, guys, now we've readjusted probably, if you look at it, really probably honestly about 50 degrees to the right. All right, now what you really gotta pay attention to is what the wind's doing. All right, now the wind is actually coming from the same 11 o'clock position off where we were firing at, which is not quite a full 90 degrees, all right? So we're not at a full 100% value right now. All that wind's being sucked through this saddle over here on the right side. So wind's gonna compress, it's trying to move through this saddle right now. But down there at the target, we're gonna be going off in the bottom part of the hill. All right, so at the target, there's gonna be less wind. Up here is this bullet goes over this cap rock here. All right, that's gonna be the highest wind value. All right, so you have to look at the wind. Wind's blowing right now, probably real close to about 16 miles an hour. And I would guess that's gonna be real close to a 3/4 wind value. All right, our next target will be closer to nearly the same value, then our fourth target will be full value. All right, so again, we're looking at 3/4 of 16, which is 12, right? And usually I cut that down right off the first. I look at the value of the wind, the cosine that it's blowing in from. I already go ahead and make my cosine correction. 3/4 wind value, I'm already looking at 12 miles an hour. As you can see right there, wind just came down to about 8 miles an hour. All right, so we're gonna have to make that adjustment as we go. All right, so a 3/4 wind value of what you're feeling. All right now is about 14. All right, so Chris, and the best thing to do is don't look at doing a whole bunch of math and then recomputing it. Figure a baseline and then sit there and figure off that what the wind's doing and make your corrections. So baseline we're gonna say is probably right now about 15 miles an hour.
So for me, about 1 mil or 1.2.
All right, target range was 435, right?
So I'm
So
on,
that starts us at 0.4.
correct.
Yeah, the 1.1, 1.2 would be really good because that's times 3. That'd get you up to 12 miles an hour. And I'd rather you be on the strong side than on the weak side. So let's go ahead and feel that wind.
Yeah,
though.
it just died
Yeah,
down.
good job. Starting to pick back up. Stay with your first call. Very nice, very nice. All right, now the wind's really gusting for Mike.
Okay. Range 435.
435, wind's gusting nearly 18.
That's about a 3 mil. 3 mils.
All
My
right,
elevation, wind call.
wind's dying back a little bit.
About 1.1 on the low side.
1.1 on the low side of the wind's good. We're in a good medium wind right now, slight to a
gusting.
gust. So if you take your 1.1 as your wind call, hold center, and as it starts to gust, you just move it left in the target. All right, starting to
Gust is
gust.
stronger. About 1.3.
Staying constant at the high wind. Very nice.
Nice shot, Mike.
Very nice. All right, you hit on the left side, but that's good. You were averaging, you were looking at the wind, and you were playing the wind. That 1.1 was a good wind call. All right, but you made your target bigger.
I've got a question for you,
Yep.
Todd. I mean, with us being right here and all this grass in the way, and I mean, there's a good chunk of stuff in front of us. My question, I guess, is, I mean, is it having an effect? Does it not matter? I mean,
No, it
everybody
won't matter.
says don't put it in front of you. So
Yeah, your bullet's not going to be affected by this type of grass and what we're shooting through right now. Now, if we were shooting through brush, yeah.
That's a big misconception too, because they'll
that's what I
say,
was curious
some
about.
people will say, and I've heard it as a kid growing up hunting, that if you hit even the smallest piece of grass, it's going to deflect your bullet.
Yeah, and a lot of times they'll say, even a blade of grass touching your barrel will mess with the harmonics. Don't believe it. We'll tie 550 cord around your heavy barrel. I wouldn't do it to a hunting barrel, all right? But around your heavy barrel, we'll tie a 550 cord right at the end of your forearm, wrap it around a telephone pole, and cam into it, pulling on it, and you'll still shoot shots at 800 meters in a standing position. All right, you'd never ever think of doing it that way, but it's just the lessons on harmonics. Plus, you have a short barrel. I love short barrels. They're stiffer, all right, less harmonics, less harmonic shift, less impact shift with cans as we go can on, can off. So I'm a big fan of fast twists and short barrels. All right, Travis.
All right, I got 2.9 elevation.
Yep.
Steady 14 mile per hour wind, 1.47 is what I got for wind, so I'm gonna hold 1.5.
All right, feel the wind starting to back off now. Nice shot. Wind came up just as you was breaking the shot. That was really nice.
Yeah, and I dropped the wind off about
0.2.
0.2.
Yep, good job. All right, you ready, Steve?
Yes, sir.
All right, wind's picking up a little bit.
2 mils hold, and I'm about 1 mil, a little strong to the left.
All right, you're shooting a 300, so your wind call won't be quite as much as theirs.
So it's about 1/2 mil.
It's not quite that either. It's you're probably looking at a 3/4 wind off what they were holding. So it's every 5 miles an hour. Give me 1.4 left. same elevation hole. Favor bottom third of the plate. 1.4 left, aim and squeeze all the way through. Let it be a surprise break. Nice, perfect. All right,
See what trigger control does, Steve?
Amazing.
all right. Everybody bolt up. We're gonna move to a different position. Now we're gonna move again about 40 degrees off to the right again. All right, so we'll get up, move into the next position, and we'll lay back down. Next shot's gonna be 783 meters. All right. Now we're just moving to the next target that's straight up above that line. This target's about 591 meters out from this position. So go ahead and plug it into your PDAs. All right, think about the same wind conditions that we talked about earlier. All right, we've still got wind blowing a constant 12, 14 miles an hour. It's not really blowing that much at all. So we're still dealing with about a 3/4 value though. Wind's starting to shift from our left, more in front of us. So now it's not a half value. I'd consider it more of a 2/3 value. All right, Chris, you're up. Wind's starting to blow again. Wind's back up around 18. Down to 16. Back up to 18. 2/3 value. Pay attention to the direction, the way it's hitting your face. All right, back to 3/4 value. 18 mile an hour. All right, just off right edge. All right, the wind was just starting to gust. Go ahead and make your full second shot correction. All right, still off the right edge. How much did you move it? Need to come 0.4 left from where you're at.
That's what I tried to move it over.
All right,
So I'm almost on 2.
all right, pay attention to the wind. Gusting and lulling. You're in a pretty constant gust. There you go.
That was 2.
Good deal. Nice shot.
That was a solid 2.
All right. Make sure your scope's level. Remember, if you don't have a level on your scope, you can look over the top of the turret and get it visibly pretty level, and you're not going to be far off. All right. You'll actually have more of a problem looking through the reticle and ascertaining if it's actually level or not. So start out looking right over the top. All right, Mike, you up?
5.1 is my elevation.
All right.
And it's dying down.
Now it's starting to bleed out. Here it comes back. Pretty strong gust. Nice. Good job.
So Todd, quick question
Yep.
for you. For me, once I kind of was in that gust, I decided to put it on 2 and leave it on 2. So at that point, do you have more of a, are you making kind of a judgment, which is, hey, I'm gonna either hold for more max wind and break my shot in more of the high wind situation, or wait for the lull and then break your shot there, vice trying to go back and forth in between.
Like you did when you broke the shot and it was off and you said, okay, I needed to hold 2 meals. All right. If the wind stayed constant, man, I'd move over and do a second shot correction. But if I made the 2 meals swing and all of a sudden the wind was actually dying down on me, then I would start chopping off what I thought was my gusting wind to my medium wind. And if it was from 18 down to 14, then I just jump down nearly the distance of the target because it's nearly the 5 for you.
Was holding the 2 mil dot
Yep.
in the center of the plate, and as the wind came up and down, moving it left and right.
Yep, that's what you need to do.
Okay,
So
instead
you
of
could
just
drop
kind
down
of
0.5.
ambushing it there and then waiting for the wind to come up, because we may not have an opportunity
Right. I was
Yep.
to wait. Okay.
Yeah, you may have to take that shot.
All right, understood.
So,
I was chasing it the whole time.
Okay.
yeah, and that's when guys start really maturing in their shooting. It's when they don't have to lock in and wait for a medium wind to hit. They make one wind call and they wait for that wind call to get there, your actual wind value to come back. So you got to be constantly changing and understand how much wind's going to move that left and right. If you was using the PDA, you'd actually plug in, hey, it's gusting from 13 to 18 miles an hour, and in that we'd know where our swing was. So it may be a 1.2 all the way to a 2 mil hold, and if it was dying, we'd all of a sudden we'd know it's 1.3, so we'd drop down to 1.3, then jump up to 1.5. As it kept gusting, come on up to 2 mils.
Okay.
All
Thanks.
right. Travis?
All right, 591 meters. I got a 4.9 elevation, 1.8 hold on the wind. 7. Oh,
All right,
that wind shifted there or something.
good level.
So that was, I need to go,
Scope good level.
scope was not level.
There you go. All right, so you were about 0.6 mils off,
Yeah.
and that's how far you are. So you probably had about a 5-degree cant. Hold the same wind.
Okay,
Give me another shot. You good and level?
good and level.
All right, wind's gusting up a little bit more. Add 0.2. So you're at 2 mils now. All right, it's dropped out just off the 8 o'clock. Load your bipod. Make sure you maintain bipod. Check your level.
You said I was off the right side?
Off the left side, 8 o'clock position on the target.
Okay, we'll go back 1.8.
All right. All right, that actually hit right at the 6 o'clock on the stand. Dead center for wind, so your wind call was perfect. Just come up about 0.3. Hit.
Nice shot.
Good job. Excellent. A lot of times it's just that load, getting that consistency. We're not in a real comfortable position
Yeah.
right here too, so a lot of times it's
I got rocks in places that I don't normally would like them.
All right, Steve, you up? Your 1.6 was good a while ago. Use that 1.5. Go to 1.6. Bottom edge of the plate. Nice. Good job. All right, guys. The next target we're going to shoot at is 770 meters out. All right, we're probably looking at really close to about 110-degree swing from where we started out. All right, winds gusting anywhere from 12 to 16 miles an hour right now. It's not blowing a whole bunch, but it's certainly blowing us off enough to get off a 16-inch target. All right, so go ahead and figure out your dope, 770 meters. All right, now we're in a full value wind. All right, so if it's in its gusts, it's going to be ×4 for the 308. All right, so we're at 800, really close to 800, so it's 0.8. We add 1, that's 0.9. All right, so at that distance, we're probably looking at close to 3.5 mil hold. All right, as it's lulling, all right, that's going to be basically 4 times the 0.2 off. All right, so we're going to have to be aware of that. So if it's 14 miles an hour, it's only going to be times 3.5 of that 9. All right, it's really lulled. Chris, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, wind's only probably about 10 mile an hour right now, so it's ×2 for you. So give me about a, starting to move, give me about a 2 mil hold. Or you got something else?
I was in between 2 and 2.5.
Okay, go ahead. Let's start out in the lull and at a 2. Starting to pick up a little bit.
That's 2.
All right, it was just starting to pick up a little bit. All right, yep, go ahead and go to 2.4. Just off the right edge. All right. Scope looks good and level. Go ahead and move to 2.4, wind died down. Stay at 2.4, it's picking up, go to 2.5.
On 2.5.
All right, picking up, go to 2.6. Fire when ready. Still off the right side. All right, picking up with the wind. Wind's gusting. Go to 3 mils. Hit. Nice. All right. Mike, you up?
Yep. All right, 8 mils for the elevation. And my wind hold will be 3.2.
All right. Starting to lull a little bit. It's picking back up. Gusting. Back down to medium wind. Wind's dying. Nice shot. Good job.
That was 2.9.
All right. Excellent. Way to play the wind. All right, Travis.
Same thing, 8 elevation, 2.9.
All right, fire when ready. All right, you're just off the right side. You feel that wind hit us
Yeah.
right after you broke the shot?
So
It actually probably hit the bullet's flight path before it got to us. All right, so go ahead and make full second shot correction. Move to 3-3.
same thing.
Yeah, just off the right edge. Good and level. Scope looks level. All right, nice hit. What'd you have to move to?
3.2.
All right, just a little level then. All right, Steve? All right, go ahead and fire. Wind's gusting. I'd be 3 mils on the left side with your gun right now. Hit.
Nice. Good
Good
job,
job.
Steve.
Nice shot, buddy. All right, guys, let's get up and walk the wind course. All right, guys, we moved 180 degrees off where we were firing a while ago. All right, first target's 532 meters out. It's just right off that pyramid point to the right, going up the crest of the hill about halfway up. All right, wind value is still about the same. It's backed off to about 12 miles an hour, but it's only about a 3/4 value. So figure your wind at about 9 miles an hour right now. All right. So Mike, you're up first.
Seems like it's a lot further than 500 yards.
It does.
Yeah,
Just because there's no land in between us and that thing.
And really, that's the deception there is you're seeing all the ground. That's one reason that max point blank, really doesn't work that well. It works really well when you're talking short distances, but when you start doing estimation by eye of range, and you're in an element that's not your home environment, it really gets to where it's really deceiving. You start missing a lot of shots. So that's when we teach, doing flash meals, getting something really nice and close for an actual meal, and then holding an associated meal on it. So, or actually really milling the target or ranging it, because you'll see the target here in a minute, 635 meters out, and it looks like it's 800 because you see a lot of the ground, then you don't see the next canyon. It's setting up on top. So the range estimation by eye works for close range stuff, but it really doesn't work well when you're not in your home environment and you're shooting across canyons where you can see all that ground. All right, Mike, you up?
I am. All right, so I got 4.1 mils elevation, and I'm gonna hold 1 for wind.
All right, that's good. Watch the wind as it's picking up, but I think you'll be fine. Nice hit. Good job. On your boat. There you go. Nice. Pretty shot. Just favor right in the target.
That one I was trying to do what you said last time, which is float it a little bit because I could feel the wind changing a
started
little
to pick
bit.
up just a little bit. You're making your target bigger. That's smart. Bracketing the size of the target. All right, Travis.
3.8. 1.3 wind.
Watch the wind. She's dying on you a little bit.
1.2.
Still dying. Good hit.
Nice shot.
Nice job.
All right,
All right, next target. Tighten your can. All right, stay in your position. Just swing to the right, guys. We're just shifting fire. All right, target range is 528. All right, but be aware, guys, we've shifted more into the wind. We have more wind value. All right, wind's still about 12, but it's nearly full value. We're probably looking at least 3/4 to full value. So bracket in between the two. Mike, you got it?
On target.
All right, fire when ready.
Wind looked good, right?
Yeah, wind's
high.
just barely left. Did you hold 1.3?
I did.
All right. Now you look at the target. Target's 500 meters out. It starts at 0.5. Full wind value of 12 miles an hour would be times 3. So it gives you a 1.5. Go ahead and try it. Wind picking up slightly. Go to 1.6. Hit.
Nice shot, Mike.
Nice job.
I look dead center too, huh?
All right. You ready, Chris?
Yeah, I'm floating between 1 and 0.8.
That'd be about right. Just off the left side, 9 o'clock. Did you hold 0.8?
I was right in between 1 and 0.8.
All right, just swing over.
Go more solid 1.
Yeah, Give it a solid 1.
Elevation, all right?
Yeah, elevation's perfect.
Oh, wow. I must have pulled it.
Now watch the elevation line you're on. Nice, good shot. All right, Travis.
All
As soon
right.
as it quits swinging a little bit, or if you want to time it and try it, go ahead.
3.8, 1.5.
Just off at 1230, just barely high. Could be. All right, nice hit. You know, a lot of times when you're shooting out there like that, that's 528 meters. Your cone of fire, probably for that weapon system's at least 3 inches. So it's sometimes you'll just barely be over the top, and the next shot, same shot will hit. But you probably came down a little bit.
I came down.
Yep.
I adjusted quickly on the reticle.
Good job, nice shot. Next target, 575. All right, this is full value in from the right. Target range is 575, that moves to 0.6. All right. Wind values, what would you say, close to 12 to 14?
So for me, I'm holding like 1.4.
On 300?
Yeah.
At 0.6 would be times 2 plus 2. Yeah, 1.4. 1.314.
All right, here's 1.4 at the bottom of the
Yeah.
target.
Mike,
2.
go ahead. You're looking at 0.6, which really could turn into 0.7 times 3 is 2 mils. You've already bracketed off.
Yeah, I'm holding 2.
All right, hold 2. Watch the wind lulling. All right, wind picking back up. Nice. Right in the right side, right off his sternum, halfway to the edge. Good shot. Right in his heart.
That was
Directly
low.
low.
What did
Good
you?
wind call.
What's your elevation, Mike?
Elevation was 4.9 mils.
That was me on the trigger.
All right, it's just off right edge. Just aim and squeeze, aim and squeeze. Your wind call was correct on the first shot. All right, nice hit. All right, Travis.
4.9, 2 mils of wind.
All right, pay attention to the wind. Good call. Nice. Good shot. All right, Steve-O. All right, just off left shoulder. Hit. Good job. Hey guys, how'd y'all like the wind course?
Well, for me, the diversity and shooting with the wind coming from different directions, I don't have an opportunity to be able to shoot in an environment like this, let alone trying to read wind at you. Just like you said, you're having to read wind at you and out there, and there's a lot of different things that are happening. The perception of how far away the target is. I'm used to that flat range where you can kind of count your 100 yards all the way down and go, that's 500 or that's 600. And here, I mean, that one target that we just got done shooting would appear to me, if I was to guess, to be an 800-yard shot, but it's really only 500 and maybe 50 yards. So that, just reading kind of that terrain and seeing the how valuable maybe a laser rangefinder is, or proper milling at that point, if that's all you had as a quick opportunity, because the eyeball, it's not going to get you where you need to be. The other thing is, with this H58 reticle, for me, not having to turn anything, and to be able to, if I'm doing the fundamentals correctly, being behind my gun, to be able to watch where that bullet splash ends up, even though I made a bad wind call, and to take that splash and drive it to where the target is and pull the trigger for a follow-up shot, it really helps somebody at least like me, who doesn't have a lot of experience behind the gun or having to constantly do corrections on the turret. So for me, it's it's a lot more simplified. I really like it.
You know, it's the environment which obviously helps us out here. I mean, you don't get an opportunity to shoot like this. I mean, even in the military, it's that KD course range. You know, you're shooting out to 1,000 yards on that perfect, you know, golf course. And when you get out into a reality situation like this, it's just an unreal experience to be able to like those 2 last targets we just shot. That one over there looks like it's 1,000 yards away, but it's the same exact range as this one right here, that looks 300 yards away. It's just a real great experience because, I mean, most guys out there, and specifically sniper roles, are playing precision, and I've done a lot of it in my career where I felt like I just keep failing because I'm guessing, you know, and I'm guessing, and it's just like, well, that'll work, I guess. And out here, you really find out what works because of what the bullet tells you, and because, like, with this equipment, the reticles, the technology, it's like this huge art of precision. I mean, it's so complicated. The equipment and guys like you, thank God, have taken that world and made it even more complicated, which makes it easier for us, which doesn't make much sense, but it does when you get out here, and it does when you do this, and you use this equipment the right way. You let the bullet tell you what it's doing, and it's just a great experience.
Part of the fundamentals of just learning to read how the gun is set up at the scope, especially in the cant on the gun. That just was a huge eye-opener to myself as well, because again, we're shooting normally on a flat square range. You know, everything is marked off, the distance is already preset, predetermined, and we're behind the gun. And everything's leveled, everything's squared up, everything's true, but you get on this terrain, and the terrain features are changing, the perception of it all, and then realizing what you think the gun is set up straight, it's not, and you realize once you get more of a cant and a heavier cant left or right on the gun, that in turn with reading the wind really adds up. That's really a good part of the fundamentals, truthfully, of learning the system for myself.
Yeah, that's the big value of what we do when we come out here and do training, is get you off that golf course. You know, we're trying to get you in a real world environment where you're not laying on level ground, sorry, but that's kind of what we brought you out here for. And you're shooting in real world environments where there's terrain features. You know, you're shooting on a flat range, or shooting in woods where they've cut out a strip of woods, and you don't have that kind of wind value constantly changing. When I normally go into a base somewhere and we have a range that's, you know, been locked on 3 weeks out, that's the range that we have for that day. You know, and that may be the range that we have all that week, but we don't get to bounce around and swap ranges. This is kind of like 10 days of training wrapped up in one for the learning curve that you're getting out of it, because it's not, you don't get to shoot for 30 minutes and then move over and shift and shoot for 30 minutes, make a couple of misses, get your wind call down, shoot for another 30 minutes. Here it's one target, next target's already a big shift in the value of the wind. So what you actually learn by shooting this way is really calling wind, because on a normal range, you're gonna make 1 or 2 real wind calls in a day, and then you're kind of fudging around it. But here you're forced to really have to make that wind call every single shot.
Well, that's the thing for those guys out there that are, whether you're a hunter or whether you're that guy overseas putting foot to ass for your country, I mean, you don't get to choose the moment. The moment's going to choose you. And sometimes you got to take what you can get, and that's the bad thing about, I think, that institution or organizational inertia of sitting on that same range for a week and shooting over and over at the same thing. That's, to me, a training scar.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those deals. We do what we got to do, and we don't have the opportunity because of, you know, range fans and that kind of thing to actually shoot the way that would be best on normal installations. We're always pointing towards the impact area somewhere, and that's why my goal was to bring the guys out to an environment like this where the terrain features, you know, are really there, and they really do move the wind around, so the guys can come out and actually lay down and get 10 times the training value that they could on their own base somewhere out in an environment like this, where today is really nearly what we consider a no-wind day here. You know, 12, 14 miles an hour, and it gusted up to 18 today.
Well, that's the funniest part. I mean, a lot of people won't even go out to the range when it's 20, 25 mile per hour winds. They're like, it's too windy. It's too windy for me. It's a waste of ammo. When it's not.
Yeah, and actually you'll find that you get a lot of confidence once you're out here and you shoot in 20, 25 mile an hour winds, 30 mile an hour winds, shooting at 8-inch plates at 12-inch plates at, you know, 900 meters. The guys leave the range after a week, 10 days of training, and they feel confident. If the wind's blowing 23, they're mad when they miss that 12-inch plate by an inch, you know, and they're just having a fit. But it's inspiring because you know they have confidence. You know, I had some guys show up one time, it's like wind blowing 40 miles an hour, and the higher command called up and said, hey, y'all stay out of trouble. And he said, hey, sir, you know, he's making us shoot every day, you know, and this stuff. He said, we're watching the weather, stay out of trouble. And he said, you know, they told me really when we were out there shooting, they didn't feel like we'd actually be able to do as well as we did during that training cycle in that high wind. And then when they left, when the wind was only blowing 20 to 25 miles an hour, their confidence was super high that they could hit every target out there.
Well, I think that's where the bottom line is like when we first came out here today, even in 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, I started cringing. I'm like, oh man, we're actually going to shoot in this. And the confidence boost is, I think that is the bottom line. We preach failure points every single day in our own you know, methodologies and in our core principles. And that's exactly what this is a failure point that on that ladder of excellence that we've all reached up and grabbed one higher because now we're confident with 20, 30 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, my failure point has been with this gun is just gun setup. You know, I had a real long length of pull, and every time I came out here and I'm trying to get behind the gun, I'm trying to get as straight as I can. I pull the trigger and, you know, the gun jumps and I can't even see where that bullet impact is on my grid on that 58 reticle. And at that point, you know, the gun dives down and, you know, the funny thing is you figure it's on the ground, I'm behind it, I'm going to stop it, but as you get into, you know, 300 Win Mag or 338, it's really important for that gun to jump straight back. And today, after just removing one piece, just something as simple as gun setup that you covered yesterday, by removing one piece, that gun's jumping straight back, recoiling straight back, which allows me to see that hit or miss, primarily that miss, which is most important, and then do a quick correction on it, where normally I'm trying to hurry up and manhandle the gun back just to try to see did it hit to the right or left, but I can't even measure whether it was, you know, 0.2, 0.4, or 0.6. I can't even measure it. I'm just like, well, I was to the right. And now I'm actually a little more detailed just in getting into gun setup.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what you say, you know, if you spend a little bit more time on proper gun setup, it helps all this out here, you know,
And
but
we
if
really-
not, it's just a compiled train wreck.
And we really have to take the time as type A personalities to really set up the gun properly. You know, most of us have shot for most of our life, you know, and so it's real easy to take it for granted and jump on a weapon system and go, yeah, I can make it happen. All right, the value that you got out of actually setting up the gun properly is huge, as you saw today.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, the other side of the coin, in actual training on the winds that we got to train in today and changing every course a different direction of fire, with all that combined, normally what we could have done on a normal flat range somewhere, you know, on your normal range, it had taken us 5 days to get to the level that y'all are at today. Y'all were making excellent wind calls on your own, you know, so I was just there as a backup to kind of make you think, hey, watch the wind, it's slowing down, that kind of deal. But y'all are already at the level to where y'all are already building that confidence, you know, and it's one's from basic setup, just like you're saying, because now with the basic fundamentals, setting up the gun properly, doing the right things behind the gun, now you can actually take that shot, see where the impact is. But you gain the knowledge of each shot, and that's what we're here for. You know, and then it really becomes, you know, a self-learning tool once you have everything set up right. You know, once you get the base formulas down, really long range isn't that hard. You know, long range can be really made pretty easy. It doesn't have to be that hard with the math. That's when we kind of slowed everything down and made the formulas that third grade formula, you know, to where we can do it quickly and we have confidence in it and it works.
You know, coming from my division, you know, wind is one of the single biggest variables we deal with on an everyday basis on the airborne operations side of the house. And that's a variable we have to learn to respect and read properly for our calcs or whatever it is we're doing driving parachutes. And I see a lot of the similarities between mechanical turbulence examples and some of the methodology we preach, but seeing all that put together, you know, there's a lot of controversy out there over, you know, which wind is the important one, the one at the gun or the one at the target. And just your no-nonsense approach to it's all important. It's all valid, and showing us that bullet flight all the way from the gun out to our target, and you know where you're nipping a little bit off and where you're adding that value back in, and how to come up with a very complete picture of that firing solution and how to read that wind. It really simplifies the whole process.
Hey Todd, thanks for a really great and informative day. You know, it's just a quick reality check, and that's awesome. So thank you very much.
Well, y'all are a fun bunch to work with. You're all real knowledgeable shooters. You're real mature in your shooting. So, I mean, you're just going to get better and better, and this is going to just get easier and easier.